lie. I be rolling with you, mommy, I be feeling the motion. When I'm inside you, I be deep as the ocean. When it comes to your love, can't lie, it be strong as a potion. That's why me and you forever be coasting. Let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot.
Yo, what up, y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy, man, and we back with another one, man. Sparking conversation, y'all. Y'all know what we do, what we spark and we conversate. You know, each and every week, man, I like to get up here with the crew, and sometimes we have special guests come on, and we like to just pretty much, you know what I'm saying, chop it up, yo, and go over what been happening throughout the week. It be so much shit going on, though, man. Like, sometimes I'll be wanting to do the show more than just once a week because, you know, sometimes it be stuff going on that be crazy. Right then and there, I be wanting to jump right out the window and want to chop it up about it. But, you know, it just makes for, you know, you never know because with the way things are set up right now, you know, just give it a few days. Something else is going to jump off. That's going to be even crazier. So, you know, we with that. So, shout out to all of y'all that's listening to this on the audio version. I really want to give y'all props, man, because y'all really making a brother proud out here. Y'all all over the world, and y'all listening, and y'all downloading, and y'all like how we give it up. So I appreciate y'all, man. We still growing, though, as a channel, you know, as a platform, we still growing. I understand, man, like, you know, nowadays it's tough, you know what I mean, to even get out here and create a platform like this and stay consistent, like, and keep it going, man, and not be afraid of what the numbers look like, but just keep the content going in a way where even when people catch up on it later, it be something. You know what I'm saying? Even if it ain't what's going on right at the moment, but they could catch that joint like 3-4 weeks later, and they find out that we still be out here bugging on this joint, yo. So that's the dopest part about it. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, yo, the thing that's going on now, like, I'm really not going to talk about it too much on the show tonight, but I did want to touch on this because I know that the internet is buzzing right now because of what happened with Fresh and Fit, right? All right, so they got demonetized, you know, and I guess a lot of people was out there with the commentary like, oh, they should have known it was coming. They was doing this. They was always putting down women. It was always degrading African-American people as black people themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's what everybody was saying. You know, they was pandering and stuff like that. But, like, I got a little different take on it. Like, yeah, I watched a bunch of their content before. Yeah, I don't agree with how they run their platform. That ain't my business, though. Like, I don't subscribe to, like, how they really give it up. But sometimes on there, if you catch some of the content, they be telling the truth. But then it's like the people that they have on there, they know they could talk to a certain way. You know what I mean? So that don't have a certain type of rebuttal because they always speak for all men in a certain bracket, but all men ain't even thinking about half of the shit that they be on. But they do make a lot of sense a lot of times. But regardless of that, the fact that you can get out here and create something like this, like you create a platform, you get out here, you put in the work, you stay consistent, you giving it to the people, you build the audience, and then someone just come demonetize you when they feel like it, just because they feel like it. And that's the worst part about being a content creator is that, you know, you be out here putting in your work, and then you finally reach a threshold where you start to can make a living off of what you're putting out, and now you're on eggshells every time you walk around. And that's going to go along with what I'm pretty much going to talk about with the crew tonight, is because this is the reason why I say, like, regardless if you agree with people or not on their opinion, it's always dope to try to get a perspective. You know what I mean? Like, learn perspective sometimes. You don't have to change the way that you think just because you understand the way somebody else thinks. It just ain't the way that you move. It's all love. Yeah, like we said a couple of weeks ago, no, you might not be the one that pay a dude to come through and smash out your wife, but there's a dude that did. Now, is there something that you could put out there in the world and say, oh man, this will never happen? You got to stop saying never, because right now, all kind of stuff be going down out here. And at the end of the day, if we don't figure out a way to kind of stick together, like if that's not more of a reason why when you get a certain platform or you get into a groove or something like this, and it's in the beginning stages and y'all grow it into something, Nigga, yo, y'all better figure it out, man, on different levels, yo. Word up, because you can actually change your life off of just being consistent. Like I know a lot of people don't believe in that, but I'm saying just consistency, yo. It ain't gonna be the same every time, yo. But if you keep doing it every day like it's the same, I promise you're gonna get that outcome and it's gonna be crazy. That's the one thing you can't say about nothing going on this side that we ain't consistent. My thing is just that if you ever wanted to question that, just go down the timeline because I don't put nothing up there but the grind. None of that personal shit get up there. It ain't about that for me. So it's about the move and it's about what it's used for, and we're gonna use it. It's a tool, you know what I mean? But regardless of that, I just want to say shout out to all the content creators out there and all the people out there who actually believe in themselves enough to pick up a camera or a microphone, however you give it up, and really give it out there to the people or to the people that support it, like jump on the podcast, the supporting teams that make up a podcast or make up content in whatever way that y'all shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Double salute to all of y'all, man, because that's just a testimony, like, yo, that we could really make a living off this shit, yo. It don't have to be a hobby, yo. Word. But nevertheless, speaking of that, shout out to my crew. Shout out to the teams that always be out there that supporting us and keeping the movement. And shout out to all the sponsors. Y'all know who they are. The links are in the description. But I just want to give a special shout out to Collective Wear because we've been behind the scenes. We've been working. And now I just wanted to show y'all a few pieces. We got this dope photo shoot getting ready to come up. This whole campaign print ad that's getting ready to go down because the loungewear, I got the shorts. So the loungewear, we got the shorts for men and women. Right, we got multiple colors and shit like that. They basketball style because they mesh, you know what I mean? So I wanted to be able to be wore all year round, no matter if you're in the crib, no matter if you got to step out, if you're going on vacation, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're doing, yo. So we're keeping it going. So I got a few of the pieces right here. They all in the way. I know y'all thought I probably don't clean up. You know what I'm saying? So I got some crew members that be hating on me. I ain't gonna say their names, but they about to come on in a minute. Because they don't think that I could be on American Ninja Warrior. And I think anybody that don't believe that I could be a ninja, they need to be talked about. So all right, y'all. So y'all see that, y'all? So this is what we doing, man. We got the different colors and shit like that, man. Word. Collective wear. Y'all know what it is, man. So look, the lounge wear, the shorts for men and women, man. I'm telling y'all, man, we coming. I know, you know, and that's the thing, yo. I know a lot of people be saying, like, yo, with Master P and all these other people, they be talking about, yo, it take more than just what you feel like, you know, it is that your talent is. Sometimes it takes you to believe in yourself to a point where you even got the merchandise yourself, or you up here putting in the work to the point where, yo, you don't even care what it look like to everybody else. You treat it just like McDonald's treated. McDonald's still put out commercials, and anybody else with a grind or something should be marketing and promoting every day too. Ain't nobody don't know who McDonald's is, and they still put out commercials. And your bum ass sitting up here talking about, oh, I posted it 3 days ago. Get out of here, man. Stop playing with me, yo. You ain't even on my life. Yo, listen, I'm about to bring the crew up, yo, because we're going to pop some shit about some other shit that went down this week that's going to lead into the main question for tonight is that, yo, how long are we going to continue to not work together, yo? And here we go. Let me see who in the building. All right, what up, me?
What's good?
How you come on shaking your head, yeah?
Because you make me sick, girl.
Girl.
You gotta stop being, you gotta stop feeling like that, yo. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta
You
stop
gotta stop
saying
being you. Yeah,
That
like
man,
change your
y'all know
ways.
good. Y'all know good and well it wouldn't be. It wouldn't even be right if I wasn't me. Man, stop playing.
Okay, I guess.
Y'all just talk junk like that because that's what y'all feel like doing. But you don't really mean it in your heart. But what up, y'all? How y'all doing, man? Y'all had a good week? Since the last time we chopped it up, y'all.
Yeah, I just seen you a couple days ago. You was getting on my nerves then too. So
Hey, look, man. It's all well, man. This is how life is, man. Life is about that, man. Getting on people's nerves, y'all. But look, let me ask y'all something, man. This is not what we're going to talk about tonight, but this is just a question I had because this is a question that came up today. I just want to ask y'all, yo, what's the definition of a spinning night bag? Like, what's supposed to go in one? What goes in the contents of a spend the night bag, yo?
Them products, them, you know, make sure you got it's basically to prevent you from having that walk of shame, you know, like
everything you need to redo a couple of things.
You know, hygiene and, you know, maybe a fresh pair of clothes, and, you know, this is my spending the night bag, my little mini little, you know,
the essentials.
I bet, because, you know, listen, you know, that's not something that, you know, dudes actually, you know, have or carry, or not in the sense of that, you know what I'm saying? So when they at work today, so, you know, the managers, they was talking about one of the people, because they came to work, you know what I'm saying, mad early, and they came in with the little joint that you pull. You know what I'm saying? He was walking to their desk, and I was like, yo, look at you, man, walking in with the spinning night bag, and everybody started laughing. I wasn't trying to do it like that. No, I wasn't. It was just that, but everybody know me like that, so it's like, it's cool. Like, they don't really, you know what I'm saying? They don't never get offended. They just be laughing or whatever. But yeah, y'all. They definitely was like, they started laughing, and they was like, yo, they do look like a, and everybody started talking like, yeah, it do look like a spinning night bag. What you got in yours? What you got in yours? And I'm like, well, what go in one? And then it just started this. Listen, it started a whole thing about, you got to put, like, because it was just, you know, because the dudes couldn't say nothing. Like, they were just all sitting there like, man, I don't know, like, yo. So then everybody else started talking, and it was crazy. And then, see, just to hear y'all say it, it's like all across the board the same too, because that's exactly what they were saying.
Because that's what's in there. That you're embarrassing people. First of all, it's too early in the morning. Okay, and I know it's time to work. I know it was dog ass early. And the fact that you put that person on black, mind your business.
Yeah,
mind your business.
Yo, that Jake was dope though, yo. But I mean, that's how life is though, yo. But don't get upset. It's a question. So that's all that go in one?
Yeah. A little spinning the night bag, you know. You ain't getting up leaving.
Yeah, like, really, to be honest with you, yeah, that's what go in.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. You know,
you gotta put them other products in there that you was promoting last time, mate. The antibacterial soap.
I didn't promote that.
Okay, my nigga is the president of the Pussy Committee. Like, I'm not.
Nah, your homegirl products. What was that? The one that she said she had the little smoke. She had a little smoke and stuff.
Smoke.
I'm not doing that over my. You don't do that over other people's house.
You don't do that over other people's house.
No, if you got to carry all your yoni stuff and all your stuff but you do that at home. Like, you know, that's not.
Oh, that's not something you take with you. That ain't something you pull out your bag and go steam yourself up and something like that.
No, unless that's like your boyfriend, like if that's your man, you know, some shit, and you just
like y'all together,
right?
But even still, like, I would do that at home.
I'm not steaming my cooch in front of you, babes. I'm sorry. Now, fresh wax, you can lick this bitch. Okay, but I'm not steaming my coochie in front of you.
What?
How was that even a thing? Like,
yeah, I was getting. Hey, okay.
What? How
like,
was a thing?
I mean, you can go all the way from like A to Z, but you're not gonna steam the yoni in front of me. Like, I mean, like, people heat up their meal all the time. Like, oh, okay.
Stink. But nobody. I don't want you to listen. When you grooming yourself, when you get yourself together, I don't need to. If we not together and we just fucking, you know, or something of that magnitude, you know, that's why people have their little bags. I don't need to. No.
So you're gonna bring it over already fresh. So I ain't gotta worry about none of that.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah.
But yo, from the time you turn the little steamer off to the time you get dressed, walk to the car, and walk to wherever you gotta go to fan out, they need to steam again.
Shut the fuck up.
So childish.
You're so fucking childish. Hey, yo, Kev, what's good though, B?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, yo, listen. So look, I'm glad you jumped on, man, because did y'all? I don't know. I'm just asking. Did y'all see the little Breakfast Club interview with Larry Elder or any of the clips? Or do y'all even know who Larry Elder is? All right. So Larry Elder, he's a black man, right? But he's running for president, but he's running as a Republican, right? Who was known to be a Trump supporter during Trump's, run for presidency. You know what I'm saying? As an endorser of his, as part of the Republican Party, right? So you know how the Breakfast Club, they kind of had people up there like that. They had Hillary Clinton up there. They had Joe Biden. They do that. You know what I mean? Like, however they get the clearance and the way that they can get to talk to these people who don't talk to nobody but actual news people, it's crazy, but they always do, right? And so they had him up there. So they was coming in the energy. They had a girl on there named Tess Figaro, I think that's her name, Tess. I don't know if y'all heard of her, but every now and then, I think she has her own platform, but every now and then she chimes in on via Skype or whatever, and they put her up on like the screen in the studio, and she chimes in on different things, different topics. You know what I mean? So they came in with the energy like, yo, we gonna eat him because he's a black man that don't know he black. They had that energy like, yo, we gonna eat him. We gonna, because the way that they was so aggressive with the way that they was coming at him. Charlemagne was mad condescending, and this dude was tearing they ass apart. No matter what angle they was trying to come from, he was doing it in a way where Shorty that was on the screen, she was just being so like they eating her up right now because they was like, yo, this is why people, and which is I'm just repeating because it's two black women on the panel, so I don't want y'all to say like, maybe the energy. Let me calm down. They said that's why they don't go talk to black women in these platforms because of this type of scenario, because Shorty was cutting them off. She was just like, rah, like, and then just not trying to hear what he was saying, like trying to make him say certain things. And he just wasn't falling for it. He was like, yo, that's not my answer. You can't make me answer the way you want me to answer. But they was going at it to the point where they were trying to say that everything that we're dealing with as black people right now is the fact that we're still being held back by white people. So their angle was, he was saying like, nah, he was saying the fact of the matter is that the family is broken. He said he wants to get into the scenario where the family is back to a position where the man is in the house. He said the government has incentivized women to be able to go out here and not have a man in the house. He broke down all these stats. He had things with him. He talked about the door-to-door campaign that took place, that the Democrats used to get votes, where they went to the doors of people and actually knocked on their doors and told them that we have these government subsidies and programs and things for you, as long as you don't have a man living in the house. And if you sign this, you'll get this a month, you'll get this, you'll get that, you'll get the food stamp. Like, this is how all of the program initially got started, because people had to accept it. Because at that time, people were in more of an entrepreneur space during the time that first happened, when they came with the whole thing. So, people wasn't really in that space, but then they started to incentivize the women to be able to not have the father in the house. So his angle is trying to keep the families in the scenario where the fathers are in the child's life, whether they with the mother or not, but in the child's life. Because he was talking about, he was just running it down. So when y'all get a chance, go check that out. But I think the main question that I wanted to get out of this is, in this day and age, do y'all really think that we being held back by the white man? Do y'all really feel like still now that we as a group of people or individuals or as a race of people, whatever we are considered to be here, do y'all feel like we being held back by the white man?
What you mean in terms of held back, I guess? Like,
I mean, that's exactly how I feel, though, CJ, because I don't believe that we are. But the way that the Breakfast Club was coming from it was like they feel like everything that's going on with us is based on racism. Why we don't have a certain type of economical structure, why we don't own nothing, basically, in the sense of a group of us coming together, why we don't, I mean, just everything across the board. They were trying to say it's based on racism, and the Republican Party is responsible for endorsing people who endorse racism. And this guy was trying to say that no, it's not that. He was breaking out stats. He brought like stats up based on like the whole time when it was racism was at its highest during Jim Crow, and we still owned more as a group of people. He said we didn't start to be in this economical downfall until we started looking for the jobs and not creating them. But anyway, what y'all think? Are we being held back by the white man?
I think it'd be stupid to not acknowledge the fact that it's like a racial systematic system set up. I think a lot of people look for a black and white answer, but I feel like yeah. I mean, of course it's a yes, but it's so many other moving parts along with it. And the reason why I'm saying yes is because just within the past couple months or the past year, just based off, my husband doing previewed and whatnot, we've been led into the room of a lot of people. Like when you get exposed to certain stuff and you see and you peep certain shit, like it make you understand further. So to be like, yeah, any black person with an idea can pretty much thrive like a white person, that would be completely false, because when it comes to ownership, owning assets, like we've owned stuff, it has been taken away from us by those same very people that claim that shit is not in place to prevent us from thriving. So it'll be dumb to say, oh, it's just black people's fault, because it's not. Because you have those that actually make out like a bandit, but the system is literally set up for you not to win, or for you to have to work 10 to 20 times as hard just to obtain, when nepotism is happening right beside you type shit. So it'd be dumb to say no, they're not holding us back because we got the ability to do so. When I've literally sat and seen people look just like me, have way better ideas, or is way smarter, or can run a business way better than these people, but they manage to thrive before we do, or it's so I don't know, like I think in a sense that they do, especially when you're somebody that's working hard towards that goal. I feel like they often allow for some of us to thrive just to show, hey, well, we at least got some, black people, but it'd be completely stupid to just ignore the fact that this shit don't exist. Like, so I'll say yay, but I say nay. Like I can't respect that coming from out the mouth of somebody that's lazy or that don't put in no work, or that's looking for a handout. And it's like, oh, well, we should be getting X, Y, and Z. No, but for those that do bust their ass, and I see that shit literally get taken away from them based off the color of their skin, because people feel like, oh, as a black man, you don't belong in the tech world, or as a black woman, you don't belong to X, Y, and Z, and they literally strict your options of doing so. Like I've seen, like that shit is real. Like that is real. So I mean, I do in a sense, it wouldn't be a racial systematic system set up, whereas we fail just off of who we are if that wasn't the case. So yeah, they do in a sense. They do.
So let me ask you this then, because I agree with you. It is a systematic scenario set up, right? But what I still see though, when it comes to like other people that come through or come to this country, the one thing that they do that we don't do, even though they don't have like the certain type of, platforms that we have coming just by being, who we are in this country, is that they work together though. And I think what happens is a lot of times we go into these scenarios alone, like instead of going in there as a group or as a crew or as a corporation, even if it's just based on the look. So let's say like this, like a lot of times I saw where they had this guy, he was like a motivational guy that was in the city or whatever. And he was, going around trying to get young brothers to try to stop acting like they was, you know what I'm saying, in trouble and all that. I saw this in an interview today. And he was saying like it was on Matt Hopkins. And he was saying like, yo, you know, watch this. He said he gathered a few people and about 8 of them, and they just walked around. And he said, you know, when they started walking around, people were stopping them, asking them like, yo, what y'all doing? What y'all into? Like, what's going on? Like, why? Because they looked like they was organized. He said it's not that they were doing anything. He said he just wanted to show them something about what kind of response you would get if you just have the look of organization. So imagine if one of, like, say X person has a business, a venue or whatever, and they needed to go to a bank and they need to go to a scenario. Imagine if they walked in there with 8 people instead of just 2.
No,
you know what I mean? So like, imagine no, because it's working. Like I'm saying to you, like in other scenarios, it's definitely working. I'm just saying, like, it's just a lot of people don't know the information because it will look like it's set up for that, but so many people have gotten in trouble that they giving out the bag. It's just a lot of people don't know. You know what I mean? Because they not doing what they do is like think tanks. They're not getting together where people can give this information to people and let them go figure it out for themselves. That's why they may be still thinking that we're being held back by someone else. But right now, those same things are available to us now. We just got to know. And that's the information piece that a lot of people are not.
That's not accurate. That's not accurate at all, because you can know, and this is coming from somebody like you can know. It's not people don't come up with that answer because of what they thought. They come up with the answer because of what they actually seen and what they experienced. And going to different venture capitalist meetings and like all it's like launch camp. It's a bunch of, like, when you're an entrepreneur, some of this terminology would sound familiar, but when you're actually going through that shit and you actually go down and you are going to these pitch meetings and all this other stuff, and you have people like they have a lot of meetings, whereas it's just like they only or solely invest into Black and brown people because they know that the it's always power in numbers. So when you all come into those white venture capitalist meetings and it's more than just 1 or 2 Black people, you are a imminent fucking threat. You're a threat and you're a danger. Like, when I mean,
but that's if you go to the white ones, it's a bunch of Black ones.
I understand that.
You get what I'm saying? So do the people know?
Even in the Black ones, we don't have people like those sponsors and those VCs and all that other shit. You think,
yo, they got
it'd be a lot easier?
CJ, they got all of that.
I know. I go to the meetings, bro. I know all of this shit. When I'm in here working with Wells Fargo, I'm in here on those same meetings, especially when I'm working from home. I'm working with my husband, sitting in those same meetings, them same pitch meetings, all that shit. So I know, but it's way harder getting somebody that look like us to back us versus anything else. They put on a facade as if, yeah, we here for all the Black and brown people, but yet you will give somebody that don't look like us a better chance because of longevity or because of whatever their end goal is, just whatever the case is, before you'll give somebody that look like you that same opportunity. Like, for somebody, my husband, he's going into tech. Preview is a tech-based company. And they look at like, as a Black man, this is not even your arena. So it's nice of what you're doing, but you need to have your shit put together a lot more better than, Larry over here that went in with his buddy type shit. So when motherfuckers really sit down and they look you in your face and they tell you that shit, it's a lot different. It's not a perception that nobody's coming up with. It's a real, like, some real life shit that people are like really experiencing. So
right, but that's only still case by case. What I'm saying to you is not what you've experienced. I'm not saying that you didn't experience it that way between you and your husband or whatever y'all going through in that particular scenario. I'm not saying that y'all are not experiencing that. I'm just saying that everyone is not experiencing that based on certain type of information that they know. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, do everybody have all the information? Are we in a position as a group of people? I'm talking about as a group of people, maybe not as an individual. You know what I mean? But as a group of people, do we have all the information that we need to know who to go to and how to go to them and what to do to get to them? Is it funding that we need for these businesses that we have? What is it that we actually are looking for? And then who do we contact that knows somebody that knows somebody? But what I'm saying is that it's a lot of that out there. It's just the fact that, like I said, you've had a different experience, and then there's others who have a different type of experience. It's like I would like to know about everyone's experience. Like if your experience was that, then it's like, damn, that's what it is. And then I guess I could see where you come from that angle. But then there's so many other people based on research who went at it a different way, and it was like, oh, okay, I see how y'all went around all of that to get to where y'all at in the tech space. I just did a whole thing about a guy who created the scenario to fix your own credit, and he's a tech guy, and he had to figure out a way how to create it himself, and he created a web-based scenario. And I'm gonna get the information and I'm gonna drop it in the joint so everybody can go check that out. But he broke it down too based on how he went and figured it out on how to develop this app. So I'm saying it's a lot of ways to do it. It's just that who knows how? That's the thing. Who knows the alternative route to when somebody tells us no? But Kev, what you was gonna say?
I mean, there's a lot that I could say on this, but I don't want to dwell too long. I just feel like it's a lot. Racism is alive and well. It's not going anywhere. It hasn't went anywhere. If you look throughout history, we've always had inventors, and they've always invented products. And these products, I watched one the other day about a guy who invented the first cars, carriage-based vehicles, and his company, didn't flourish the way that Ford did. And he did it before Ford. He put an engine in a car before Ford. So it's not a matter of, and this is over 100 years ago. This is late 1800s, early 1900s. He didn't have the same access to the same money and the same help that Ford had. So, and that's still here today.
Fact.
Just, you know what I'm saying? Like I was sitting there listening, and what happens is people go on these shows and they come from a place of ignorance and emotion. So they instantly can jump on that and try to, I watched a little bit of this Larry Elders. Dude had some stats from the 60s. I watched a little bit during the beginning of this, and I'm like, okay, he's saying things that I know are facts that are true. But people can use the truth to spin it any way that they want to. I had a couple of weeks ago, I was in Durham walking around, and there's where Black Wall Street used to be. So have Black people not came together before and enterprise before and became self-sufficient before? Oh, we did. What happened? They burned it all down. They burned it all down. And so it's not that we just don't want to. It's that there has been a lot of division. There's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of anger out there because anytime one of us rises up, don't they try to knock us down? You're getting too big for your britches. They coming after you. Why did they come after Bill Cosby? Oh, because he was drugging women. No, he tried to buy a network. And he's going around telling people about Black enterprise. So let's not make it seem like it was just one thing. Like, dude had long-standing relationships. That's what they used to take him down. That's not the reason they took him down.
Fact.
So, I mean, and then I've worked in the credit business for a while. Y'all have worked in the financial sector, so y'all understand that redlining is a real thing.
Demographics,
your zip code can determine your ability to get a loan. Well, how do they do their demographic maps? Well, when they're going around doing census and people are voluntarily getting information, now you know the area code 27035 is 70% predominantly Black. You think it's going to be easier to get a loan from a financial institution in that area? Absolutely not. No, you're not getting it. Right. It's not going to happen. So even though I respect all three of y'all, if we pulled everything that we had together, I respect all of y'all. If we came together and pulled some stuff together, we can only go as far as what we can collectively do. Exactly. And there's going to have to be a point in time where we're going to have to look for one of these to validate us. And that's where they have the power. That's where they have the power to say, you know what? Yeah, I'll go ahead and invest in you guys, or, I'll go ahead and let this happen because, that's it's crazy to me. But I mean, I sit here and I see it every day, whether you get passed up for a promotion at work. When I got pulled over 3 times in the last 2 weeks. I'm not worried about a ticket. I'm worried about leaving with my life. the best thing that can happen to me is I get a ticket. Do you think I can ask for his badge number? Do you think that I can yell at him or call him ignorant, call him names, yell, get out my car, make any sudden movement? I can't do none of that. And this is 2023. I'm still not seen as an equal citizen.
Facts.
So it's for people to say that it doesn't exist. It exists.
That's delusional. That's real delusional.
Alive and it's well.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's, there are some of us, the Clarence Thomases of the world, the Larry Elders of the world, who have had marginal success in a white man's world, which is what it is here in America. But if he got pulled over at 9:45 in Sacramento, California, he's just a nigga in a Benz.
Facts.
Whose Benz is this? Blah, blah, blah. And he's going to know what it feels like to be a black person in America. You know, and it's harder. It sounds crazy. You should know this yourself, right? It's harder to convince black people to do something because we like, well, shit, I don't know about that. Like, because we've been taught to be skeptical of one another. Look at our imagery.
Like I said, I agree.
Yeah, so
I just don't believe. I'm just saying, like, it's just to me at a certain point, we got to figure out a way to circumvent that because there's small groups of other people who is. Well, it's just like trying to figure out, like, where. Go ahead. What you say?
Let me attack that point too, because I hate hearing people say this.
Me too.
I hate it with a passion. The Koreans come over here, they get stores.
They get funded. And how they get all these stores and shit? Do they not get funded when they come over here?
Right.
Do they not give them all the things?
Yeah. But I wasn't speaking.
They own everything. But what I'm saying is to say that other people, people come over here and they stick together. They do this. They do that. America has never attacked them. You don't see listen. I'm watching Yellowstone, right? And, you know, there's the white man who could possibly lose his land and the government's coming after him. And it's the Native Americans who are what they say is Native Americans. Let me put that disclaimer out there, who are shoved into these reservations. Mm-hmm. Name one Native American politician. We've never had a Native American president. They're not represented in the country that they're native of. So if they can't bond together and own stores, anything, only thing they can own is casinos on their land. So if the original people here, by their standard, if they can't thrive in America, us who was enslaved in this country, you expect us to thrive? The civil rights movement was 60 years ago. Our parents were the first generation who could go to school with white kids. And you expect me to catch up with Connor, who has $5 million coming to him when his great grandfather died, has all this land everywhere? You know what I'm saying? I could 9 times out of 10, I walk in the room, I'm the smartest person in the room. Does it matter?
No.
I'm still a nigga with a beard.
Facts.
So it's crazy. It doesn't stop me from trying to better myself and better my situation, but I'll never ever disrespect all the blood that has been spilt in this country by people who look just like me by saying that it doesn't exist, that it's not real, that it's something that we can get over, because we're not going to get over it. We still don't.
But what part is it that we're saying don't exist though? We were talking about people actually having we were talking more about a solution, not necessarily the problem. Like, we know that racism exists. When I brought it up from the standpoint of, is the white man holding us back from our financial?
That's
okay. So but then now we are talking about like things that's based on history, because if we go there, then we could go back to that time during Jim Crow or during that era where we still, as black people, still own the majority of the wealth in the United States. And we were the original party of the Republican Party. So we was the ones that came up with the concept of how we ran about taxes and all that other stuff. It wasn't until the KKK got infiltrated and they created that, which is based by the Democrats. The KKK was created by the Democrats. So what I'm saying to you is that there was during a time that even when slavery was way worse than where we are now, we still own more. Now, we do understand that racism has taken things from us. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Black Wall Street, Tulsa didn't happen. The thing that in Durham didn't happen. The Native Americans, or who they call Native, didn't get pushed into the reservations and off onto the side in the middle of the country. I'm not saying none of that didn't happen or it ain't. I'm saying at this particular point where we are, like, we know all of that, but we also know, and I wasn't talking about racial groups like Chinese and Mexicans and all that come over here when I said small groups of people. I'm talking about the small group of people, like the group of people that came together in Georgia and bought those 75 acres just to build the town on. And they started with the tiny home community. I'm talking about the group of Black women that's right here in Greensboro, North Carolina, that done bought up 100 and some acres that already got mobile home properties and all this other stuff going on. I'm talking about there's small groups of people who are actually doing exactly what we're saying that we said that we cannot do. That's only the angle that I'm coming from, not based on the fact that racism don't exist or that we won't have to deal with some type of opposition if we try to step into their arena, if that's what it's considered to be. I'm saying at this particular point, for all of us that is sitting here, like, if we kind of really think about it from that aspect, they're not groups of people. I'm talking about brown people, Black people, however they want to call us, that look like us, that are doing it though. What we are saying that cannot be done.
We're not.
I'm talking about from that. I'm talking about from that standpoint.
That's not what we're saying. We're not saying it cannot be done, but we're saying that there is stiff opposition to that. It's great that these women got this 100 acres of land. Give it 10 years when they raise the taxes and try to take it from them, just like they took the beachfront property in California. What I'm saying, this is
but depending on, but you gotta remember this: when they do raise the tax, they raise the property tax, so that still built up the equity in the land. You know what I'm saying? So they still
who owns the property?
I mean, well, if they,
now they have to pay
think
more.
about this, y'all. Let's be completely honest. If y'all think about this, property tax is something that everybody pays, right? So we know none of this stuff is being owned by anybody. If you think about it, if the government gonna make you pay property taxes. But we're talking about in the sense of whatever creates your financial freedom. Now, we could be technical all day about who owns this and who do that. We can get all that, yo. But I'm talking about when it comes to your financial freedom or setting it up like a Rothschild or like what you call one of the royal families or whoever else that we wanted to mention that has this money coming to their grandchildren after the grandfather died like 100 years ago. I'm talking about those same scenarios where they come to trust and all these things are still set up, creating our own bank by using life insurance policies, whole cash life insurance policy, where we don't have to go to a bank. We just got to qualify for enough to be able to pay for a whole life insurance policy that you can borrow from and then put back. You can create your own bank. So it just depends. There's not a thing that people have to go a certain route to be able to do certain things with. I'm saying. I'm looking at all of us as people who have a mindset of being a hustler. I'm not talking about like racism don't exist. I get all that. I'm talking about from the mindset of a hustler. Like, do we look at it from that standpoint nowadays? Yes, we know racism exists, but I'm saying, like, yo, if we want to create the financial freedom that we want, are we not going to attempt to try to figure out a way to create that based on the fact that we still got to deal with racism, or are we still going to try? Is what I'm saying.
I mean, people every single day find like crackheads. They find a way to find crack every day. Like they hustle and they get crack every day. It doesn't change the fact that they're crackheads, and that's how they're viewed. No matter how successful we are, we're still gonna be viewed the same, bro. And that's
listen. We can take the view. You know what the crackhead don't care? I know all of us know a crackhead. Crackhead don't care that we know that they're a crackhead.
They don't.
It doesn't matter how we view them. They still gonna dance, they still gonna smoke, and they still gonna do what they do. They not, maybe some people are ashamed of it that try to be on the down low, but I'm talking about a proud crackhead don't care how people look at him.
Right.
They know, and you know what he doing? Like you just said, focusing on getting that crack.
Mm-hmm. So
he's not letting nobody hold him back from getting the crack.
Yeah,
I mean, like
something happens, one of them get hit by a car. I guarantee you, the way that the city views them is less than a dog. You can run over a dog, you'll go to jail. You run over a crackhead, thank you.
Right, I'm sure. And I mean, we deal with that. We're gonna deal with that in this country, yo. But I'm just saying, like, but if one of y'all get ran over by a car, it'll matter to me.
Oh, for sure. Listen, bro.
You get what I'm saying? So I can't look at the crackhead now. If one of y'all start smoking crack, I'm still gonna care about y'all. And if one of y'all get hit by a car because you started smoking crack, I'm still gonna care about y'all. So I don't know.
But the first thing they're gonna say is a local crackhead was ran over today. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how they gonna know? How they gonna know he a crackhead? Don't care if he gonna
the
have it on his
outfit,
ID.
bro. I don't know. Probably the outfit. But nah, man. Listen, I get it. There are more avenues now to acquire wealth. Right. You know, there's more loopholes that we have. There's more information that we have access to try to level the playing field. Sure, I can agree with all of that, up, down, left, and right. What I can't do is have a half-ass idea and walk into Wells Fargo and come out with $1 million. But I do know that there are people who have better advantages because it's a who you know, not what you know necessarily. And people can push the paper along. And that leads me back to another thing that holds us back, which is, you know, the legal system itself. Because people work against you, man. They work against you. You know, you look at the different groups that put in a bid to buy the Charlotte Hornets when Jordan was selling the Hornets.
Right.
And, you know, the other owners had to approve the sale. So now you start thinking about us leveling the playing field. And let's say, Lillington as a city is bankrupt. Right. And we
go buy the
city of Lillington. Right. You know, we put a group together to buy the city of Lillington.
Right.
Are we going to be safe from persecution?
I don't know. It just depends on how we set it up. Do we do it as a collective group just because based on color? Or do we put it on based on a bunch of like-minded individuals that doesn't matter about color? So we need a certain visual representation that is representing the collective. Like, do we do that, or do we just keep everything based on like just our color, like, you know, black people, I guess, so to speak? Or do we put a collective where it might be some clear folks in there who might could walk in there and as a representative for the collective and get the job done? I mean, like, what do we do as far as
the fact that we would need representation is just proof that the problem still exists.
No, but we know the problem. No. We know the problem exists. That's the whole point about the conversation. The conversation is not that we don't know that racism exists. We know that. But how do we circumvent that? No, there's programs, there's stuff out there that we probably don't have to do that. But I'm saying, how do we circumvent that? Because it's not like all white people are against us. I'm sure all of us have run-ins with different white people who are cool with us, who like us, who genuinely or probably looked out for us at some point in time. I'm sure we got stopped by some police officers that wasn't assholes. You know what I mean? That kind of like slapped us on the wrist on sometimes and let us go. I mean,
I get a ticket every time I get pulled over, so I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, word. Yo, you I don't know, man. I can't, like I said, we know it's always an exception.
I had different experiences.
Now, everybody have it. Yeah, everybody got different experiences. But what I'm saying is that there's always been times
there's
where
exceptions.
Yeah, that they got some allies. Like, we have some allies that may be of different, you know, ethnic backgrounds. But if we needed to circumvent it, then what would it matter if we got to the bag and we are in that space now? We in there now. Boom. What do we do with it once we get the ball?
Well, I mean, that's when you become that's when you're labeled a sellout. When you have to go to the white man to be accepted in the white man's world, bro. Like, that's the thing.
That's based on who? Like, who calling us to sell out? Like, who like, really, like, let's think about it. How many times do people gotta know our business to know of us being any type of whatever they want to call it? Like, how do they know that? Like, if we all of us sit up here, we came together, we formed a corporation, and we put that corporation and we went somewhere and we got this thing popping, how would people know? Like, outside of the corporation, we got non-disclosures, we got all these other things going on. Well, how would they know?
Just like there was a movie, it was a really dope movie, and I'm so upset that I don't remember the actor that was in it, but he was in California and he was buying up like properties, and he had put a white guy as his front man while he was the one that was like buying all these properties. I want to say it was like Mos Def or somebody. It was somebody that played this character, and it was a great movie, bro. If I remember the name of it, I'll have you watch it. But the fact that because he couldn't go into the bank and get a loan, so he would send the white guy in there to do it. And man, he ended up acquiring like 60 properties in California and formed this huge company. But it's just, you know, the fact that we would even have to do that or have to hide our identities is proof that they can still hold us back, and that we still have to circumvent them one way or another. And that's the thing, where until we get to a point where color is not an issue, then, you know, you should be able to live freely and thrive freely and not feel like there's a cap on your growth. You know,
yeah, I feel you. I just don't know if that will happen. Like, I don't think in America it will ever be where they will never not dislike us based on the color of our skin. There's too much history that goes on with us. I don't know if there'll ever be a place where America would be a place that is fully not racist towards African or whatever they want to call it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if we'll ever get there, but how do we get around it is what I guess the better question I should ask y'all. Because like that, the whole goal of the question in the beginning was not to say that racism don't exist and that we don't have to deal with bullshit. Because I mean, we all have, you know what I mean? And like you said, CJ, the shit that you're dealing with right now, but we're not going to give up because we dealt with those type of oppositions first off. How do we go around it? I'm saying, or not even go around it in the sense of trying to hide it, but how do we figure it out though to get to the end goal? Because people have figured it out some type of way. Like you said, Kev, like with the movie. Like, yeah, you said we shouldn't have to, but look, if that's what we have to do, it's not that we are begging anyone. It's like, yo, we putting the play together and we making it shake. And I think a lot of times, you know, is that looked at it as a sense of pride? Like, do you feel like we have too much pride because we have to work a little bit harder than everybody else? Like, do we feel like we shouldn't have to?
I mean, I don't think nobody should have. Like, imagine your resume. Imagine you going up for a job, and I'm going to pick this homeless white man up off the corner real quick. Imagine me cleaning this man up, creating a resume. You got a resume, your credentials check out. Y'all go for the same job, but he got it because of what he looked like versus you having it because of, you know, what you know. He got it because of who he know, who recognized him. And shit, I ain't seen you since high school, buddy, or college. Right. And he get that motherfucker instead of you, and you got the credentials. Like, it don't have nothing to do with pride, but it's just a slap in the face. And it's not the fact that nobody hate the fact like, oh, well, I got to work, you know, like in a sense like, oh, you know, but it's like, why do I got to work harder? Like, I'm smarter than this nigga. Like, imagine this man getting an award for being valedictorian and he done had all B's and I done had all A's. Like, fuck out of here. Like, I'm gonna feel some type of way. And just because somebody complain about it and they point that shit out don't mean that it's necessary. Like, you know, you shouldn't be complaining. That's bullshit. Because I wouldn't have to, you know, bring it to anybody's attention or say anything had the situation not presented itself. So me personally, I feel like getting around it, if we continue to just simply, we have to know how to work not around them or with them. I don't even know the correct terminology. Instead of working with them, we just need to learn how to be able to, I guess, like work within the same vicinity. If we continue to go out the funding programs that, you know, make sure that we as a people is taken care of or we thrive as a business or whatever the case is, we can still get there. Is our journey going to be a lot longer? Of course. But at the end of the day, that's why you need to pay attention to the road or the path that's in front of you versus everybody else, as long as you know you're on the right path. But I don't feel like we necessarily need to work with them to get somewhere, because that's the problem. They don't need to work with us to get anywhere. When they securing their generational wealth, you don't hear nothing about nobody of our statue helping them get to where they, you know, where they not gonna say it out loud.
They do though, see, because they take our music, they took our whole culture with the music.
That's what I'm saying. They're not gonna admit it. They're not gonna admit it. They may curry or act as if they, you know, when we pull ourselves from the bootstrap. That's bullshit. Because if y'all was,
no,
we had to make it out here by the, you know, like a band.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we ain't got no. They ain't give us no bootstrap. No, they ain't give us. Yeah, you're right. But
we always make it shake out of nothing. So when we're trying to build our own, we don't need to include them. When everybody, other small groups building their own, they don't include fucking outsiders. It can be done. But look, you know,
think about it this way though, C Double, for real though. Like from what you're saying, you're right. Like if we could like kind of pull together, like you're right. Like we don't actually necessarily need them. But what I'm saying to you is that think about it. They use us for that wealth that they have. When we think about Juilliard and we think about all of these things, and we think about Hollywood in itself, or we think about the whole record industry or any of these things, They use and exploit our talents and our gifts. They sell it all overseas. They do all of that, and that's how they're able to create generational wealth for their family. They've even gotten it off of the free labor that we've given them during the little 400-year reign that we had out here. You know what I'm saying? And they came into shit that was already built by people who were already here before that 400 years that they came through and did all that dumb shit. So if you kind of like really kind of put it in real life, they use us. Like the wealth that they had was because they used us.
Right.
Like, so do we look at it from a sense of I think that's the angle I was coming at about black people with pride. Like, are we looking at it from a private sense? Like, nah, we shouldn't have to, or should we look at it from a sense of, yo, y'all used us, now we gonna use y'all. Yo, fam,
No,
put this on.
Like
you know what I mean?
The
But
is,
it do. I'm saying it do. But it do though. He just said it was a. Well, you're right. It was.
No,
we don't know.
we
don't know. He said it was a movie. He said it was a movie.
Right. We don't.
Was it based on a true story?
Yeah,
it was based on a true story.
I think the movie I'm talking about is called The Banker with Anthony Mackie. It was based on a true story.
Okay, so if that mean that it worked. That means that somebody thought about
until
this.
It didn't.
No,
well,
exactly.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sure it didn't. But what I'm saying to you is that when certain paperwork and stuff is in place, that's the only thing about contracts and different things like that. When those things are in place, it takes a lot for them to try to come around and take that away. But what I will say though, y'all, is like, do we figure it out? What's wrong, CJ?
Until we don't. Because that's the thing, bro. Like it works until it doesn't.
I really don't know what I'm saying. That people are really not really trying to figure it out. Because
think about this.
I'm not about to lay down. Go ahead. What you say?
It ain't about laying down, bro. Think about this. One of my favorite people of all time is a musician. It's Michael Jackson. Okay. They did everything they could to smear this man's name.
Gotcha.
And when you start looking at what Michael Jackson owned in his life, if Michael Jackson, the most recognizable person on the planet for the duration of his life, most recognizable person on the planet, could go anywhere on the planet. People don't speak English, but they knew his music.
Right.
This man got half the royalties from the largest, was it Sony?
Yeah.
He got half the royalties from them on the Beatles catalog. He did everything that you could possibly do.
Right.
And they still were able to take him down.
I mean, they had to kill him to do
No one took down the Rothschilds.
But
no one took down any of the 13 families.
Right, but
none of them got taken down.
But think about it though, Kev. That you got to think about this from a different standpoint though. Like we get that. Like yes, they did that to Michael Jackson, right? Michael Jackson still was
Michael Jackson.
They could do it to anybody. Look at what they doing to Trump. They doing it to another white man though. You know what I'm saying? Look,
Trump is going to be president again. They're doing all of this as a facade.
That's not the point though. My point is that they still taking whatever measures that they can to try to do whatever they can.
The appearance of those.
You know what I'm saying? Even if we look at the appearance, right? Even if it's the appearance, right? Let's just kind of look at it from every standpoint. We said, yeah, they did that to Michael Jackson. They did the Prince. Prince owned mad shit too. They did the same thing to him. He wasn't the only one, right? So you got Cosby. They took him out. They took a lot of people out. They took R. Kelly out with all because he basically wrote for every record label out there. He was collecting from each and every one of them.
He was about to get all his masters back.
And he was the one that he was about to do that. And not only that, he was the person that told everybody to sing all the way to the end of the record so they could get all of the money. So he had a lot of things going on with himself, regardless if he could read or not. But what I'm saying is that at this particular point in time, we get all of the things that can happen to all of us as Black people in this country. We know that. But what I'm asking at this particular point, not that we don't know that all this other shit exists, but what I'm saying to you is that what do? Do we lay down or do we figure out another way around it? That's just the only thing. Like if y'all may not agree, like you said, don't use other people. I get it.
Listen, I mean, we've never laid down, and that's the stereotype that I hate, because it ain't like we just throw our hands up and say, "Oh well, we'll never be able to do it." No, we continue.
But that's the angle the Breakfast Club was coming from. The angle from Breakfast Club was coming from elected officials. They were saying that these elected officials, Kev, they was blaming it on other people as to what's going on with us. That's what I'm saying.
But who owns that radio station? Who typed up their talking?
I think Clear
Who
Channel.
put them into place for this conversation? You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't Larry Elders talking to, even though I'm not a big fan of hers, but Candace Owens, someone who also knows what they're talking about. I don't agree with everything that she says, but she facts checks. You got Charlemagne, Random Chick, and DJ Envy, who are allowed a certain level of success due to the fact that they're associated with this large radio conglomerate. Do you think that they're really allowed to represent us in a way that comes across as articulate and educated? Absolutely not. So they're ill prepared to talk to someone who went to, who is a political science major. I have a friend who is in government now who could have had that conversation from a Democrat perspective and actually held her own. But we didn't put someone like that out there. We put Charlemagne, who is a comedian. We put DJ Envy, who is a sellout and has all the other things, and some random chick I've never heard of before today. Why did we not put good representation to really be able to challenge any of these points that he's making? I don't care how valid any point is. You make valid points, I challenge them. I make valid points, you challenge them. And we can do that off of one another. But when you put somebody who can barely form a sentence up there, or who wants to try to find a quick joke to bail themselves out of the fact that they didn't do any research, come on, man.
But
like
then,
Charlemagne was just.
But how long? I guess for me though, is like, how long do we talk about the problem though? Like everybody has a great way of articulating what's wrong. Like, what's the problem? What we can't do? Why is wrong? Why we are not able to get this? Even if it's based on certain things that we personally have gone through. Even though, like we just said earlier, there's people who figured out other ways to make it happen, regardless of what we may know, just based on information. But like, why is it that we are so adamant on knowing what's wrong, but we are not the same when it comes to what the solutions are? Because there are people. Go ahead, me.
I haven't spoke at all. I haven't been able to get in there.
So me,
I'm saying a lot of this stems from generational trauma. We're still being raised by people who were raised by people who were slaves. There is so much that still scares us, I believe, as a people, because of what we've been through. It's still pretty fresh if you think about just how many generations back we're suffering through that. And we're being raised by people who we didn't have the proper mental health care. You know how much shit they had to have gone through that got passed down generation to generation because of what they didn't know, the lack of information they had, the fear they had for their kids to even go out into the world, not knowing if they would come back. It's still really fresh. Yeah, it happened so long ago, but it's not that many generations from where we are right now. So for us to break out of it, it's still going to take us a minute, because there is still somebody who raised us who was raised by somebody with a different mentality than we have. So there's the resources, even there's still everything that's in place was based off of a racist system. So it's still there. It's still ingrained. So with all of these obstacles and with all of the stuff that people have been teaching us, because it's still so fresh, we don't feel safe to go out there. Yeah, we can band together and we can do this shit, but not too long ago when they did that, everything got taken.
Right.
So it's still too fresh for a lot of us. It's still too fresh for some people to say, yeah, let's do this. Fuck what they're gonna say. Let's just go against them. When just not even 10, 20 years ago, you've seen people die for that same fucking reason. It's too fresh. It's not possible right now.
Watch them take down any hero that we had. We're reminded every single day that we could be taken down at any point. I sit back and watch old interviews. I watch Malcolm X talk. I watch I can't remember my man's name. He had them big bug eyes, very intelligent. I just listen to them talk.
Miles Monroe.
Like, who?
Miles Monroe.
Yeah, I watch him too. I watch these people talk, and I'm just like, wow, bro. Like I'm so moved by what they're saying. But I just sit here and I just watch like people figure it out and then get tore down. And it's like, they're continued. It's buck breaking like it was before. It just has a different name. So that's the
Gotcha.
thing, Raw. Like, bro, like it sounds crazy, bro. I hope you don't figure it out and become a multi-billionaire, because they're gonna come and tear everything down. Because that's what they want to do. You getting too powerful? Oh, you saying that you could do it without us? Oh, you saying that you should be on an even playing field? Let us remind you. And then there's nothing to stand in the way. There's nothing to protect you, because at the end of the day, we still have to get their approval to get past a certain level. There's no reason why, hopefully in 20 years from now, we can look back at this and be like, man, I'm so glad it changed from then. Because you got to think, LeBron's a billionaire. Let's see what he does with it after playing basketball. He a billionaire. All of these, they are throwing so much money at all these professional athletes. And if they are counting what they acquired as part of us as Black people winning, it's disproportionate. But I would love to go downtown Raleigh and buy one of these buildings. And I would love to do it with all of y'all. But there's so much red tape that we'll have to get through. And then we have to try to fight to keep it. And that's where it's kind of like, it's weird, because if we're like, hey, if we just all stick together, that's segregation. So we're trying to say, bring segregation back. Oh, we'll just, go to Blacks, go to Browns. We just all band together and we just do it. That's segregation. So then if we adapt that mindset and then they go back and say, well, you know what? Fine. We've already pulled affirmative action. We've already pulled all of these different things. And if we can get away with getting rid of all this, and it's your best versus my best, I'm going to win every time. Because not only am I an individual, I am the police, I am the judge, I am the landlords, I am everything in this country. I'm the politicians. So you can cry as much as you want to up the ladder. I am the ladder that you're climbing. Like this, it's rigged. It doesn't mean that we're not going to stop, because we never stop. We're going to always continue to fight and to try, but to say that they're not holding us back, that they're not in our way, that they can't stop us, that is not true.
Delusional. That's very delusional.
Delusional.
That's very delusional.
It's the same. It's us four getting in a damn submersible and going down deep in the ocean. It's delusional. It's delusional. It defies logic.
Nah.
It defies logic. Nothing's gonna happen to me. It defies logic.
I look at it like I said, I get where y'all coming from. I really do. I understand. I agree with everyone's points when it comes to it. I'm just not that person that is in this mindset of like, whatever it is that is looked at to be, that's what I'm going to allow to happen. I mean, at least for me. Now, I can't really speak for everybody else. You get what I'm saying? Because I understand, like, everybody else is not going to have the same type of scenario, thought process, or what? You said what?
In a bubble. Yeah, that's that.
Wow, like, what are you saying, bro? Like,
what do you mean?
500
I live in a bubble. I know. What do you mean?
You got your own stuff going, but you work for a Fortune 100 company.
No.
So we're still following their system. Like,
yeah. But I'm not saying it in the sense of that. I'm not saying it in the sense of that.
We can fight it though to the death.
Well, look. All right. Well, like I said, everybody has their own thought process. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their own vision, and I get it, and I respect it. You know what I mean? Like I said, the goal is not to change other people's perspective. The goal is not to make other people think like you. The goal is to try to figure out, have conversation enough to really gain other people's perspective. Like, I'm just seeing that there are people that are doing it each and every day. I mean, in spite of everything that we're saying here. So I'm saying, like, if there wasn't examples of people who are actually getting towards the financial freedom for themselves and their families and setting that stuff up, regardless of the way that the system is set up, if there wasn't examples of that, I wouldn't be able to stand here and tell y'all like, I don't really feel like they stopping me from the financial freedom that I need to set up or set up for my family.
That's part of the
That's
bubble.
not what I'm not saying.
No.
I'm saying that. You get what I'm saying?
Not enough people are in that mindset yet. Not enough people believe that yet.
That's what I said. I get that. That's the point I'm trying to make here today. Like when I said to y'all, like I agree with what y'all saying. I'm saying I know that y'all don't agree with me, but what I'm saying though, regardless of that, I'm saying I see examples of people in their financial space each and every day based on information that they have. It's a lot of things that I'm doing now based on information I did not have. Now that I got certain information, I'm executing that information. That allows me to move forward into that same direction that I'm trying to go. That's all I'm saying. Like, I see people doing it each and every day. I see a bunch of black billionaires. I'm seeing them doing, but they're not doing the stuff that puts them in the forefront, that makes them, what they consider famous. I see people sitting on, but I'm thinking about like whether it's a billionaire or if it's hundreds of millions. Like, I don't know what a person's financial goal is. I'm talking about how can we set it up a way that we could be financially free to live the life that we want to and be able to pass that down generationally, set up the way that other people have used the system to set it up. Because the system is the same regardless of who's using it or not when it comes to that. That's all. I don't get it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But
are you asking how do we get white privilege?
No. I'm not even thinking about white privilege. I'm not even thinking about white privilege. I don't want to go to the golf courses with them. I don't care about white privilege. I'm saying financial freedom. And I don't care about white privilege. I don't care about white privilege. I don't need to be in Starbucks. Yeah, but that's all set up. That's through the waterfall.
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, Madam C.J. Walker was the first black millionaire. How are her descendants doing?
But she didn't have it set up though, Kat. Like, listen, it's a lot of people who were millionaires, but they didn't set it up. It's people who won the Powerballs and shit like that, but they didn't set it up correctly. They didn't set up trust. They didn't set up LLCs and S corps. They didn't invest in real estate. They didn't invest in stocks. They didn't do these things with their money in order to do a return. They didn't do that. They didn't understand how to live off debt, where they don't have to live off the money that they get. They use that money, borrow against it, and create an asset that brings in money. They didn't do all of that. So that's why Madam C.J. Walker family is not doing well, because that wasn't set up, because that wasn't information that they had then. But they did. But now that information is with us now. So there's not a single person that's not sitting here that can't set up a trust fund. Right. If you telling me that you can't set up a trust fund, then I don't know. But if you set up a trust fund, it's going to go the way that you wanted to go for the rest of your life. It's going to be a certain percentage. You break that down, and it's going to go, and it's going to compound 6% every year, and it's going to continue to grow. And even if it goes down, it's still going to compound. So I'm asking, there's nothing that can stop us from not setting that up right now, that waterfall. It's just that what do you use to set it up with? How many people are doing capital
to get to that point?
That's easy. Like we said now, you create like everybody else do. Some people are using their business credit to get funding, to buy real estate. And then they take that real estate and they take the funds off that real estate. Instead of taking the profit, they take that, reinvest it, and borrow more money, create assets. People, and off them doors, people are buying. So that's what I'm saying. And not only that, people are using grants. They're using LLCs just to get the funding. Banks are giving out the bag for brand new LLCs once you get your shit set up the right way. So they're getting funding and creating assets to keep that. And not only that, let's put it to you like this. If you can afford personally to get $100,000 life insurance policy right now, or all cash life insurance policy, if you can afford those payments right now, then you could get, it don't gotta be $100,000, but I'm talking about a person that can afford those payments. If they can afford those payments right now they got the funds. Now there's no excuse. It's not even no excuse to go out there and buy real estate right now. That's why I'm wholesaling. So what I'm saying to you is that there's a process to get that to go and make it shake. It's just that, do people have the mindset to say, I want to learn how to do it, or do they got the mindset to keep talking about what they feel like is the roadblock? Like, we know the roadblock, but there's some people who are going right around and over those roadblocks. So why can't we be those people? I'm not talking about the majority. I'm talking about, like, listen, do we think about it like that, or do we not? Because the information is there, and it's just about the execution. That's why me personally, that's why I the clothing line, that's why I use the website. This is why I use the content. This is all of these different things is about asset building. We own our own IP, I own this intellectual property. So every time it builds up, it adds value. Now, so at the end of the day, it's based on the consistency of adding that value on that asset. Now, do other things that we want to copyright? Yeah, hell yeah. But we own the asset. So I'm saying to y'all, it's the same thing for us. Do we walk around with the mindset of they gonna hold us back, or do we circumvent it? I get where y'all coming from. Yes, all those oppositions are in the way, but there are people out there who are walking right around that shit, yo. So what do we do?
Like I said,
what do we do?
Right, bro.
The funding is there. The capital is there. It's no excuse for nobody not to be able to get money.
You got to trust.
Yeah.
You got to trust setup. You got a whole
exactly. I got an LLC. Got the LLC set up.
You already spoke with a lawyer. You already spoke with a lawyer and all that.
Yeah. Dead ass, not playing. And plus, you know, and they
put together a class. I think we should put together a class.
I think me and Kev, like I told me and Kev, talk about a whole lot of stuff that I got information and knowledge to.
Yeah.
I just don't come out here and say it because you know what happens? That the people are not into, like when it comes to me, it's just like now, like I have a different mindset than other people. Like I don't know that we deal with things that are racist and stuff. I just have the mindset to say I'm not fucking with that. That's all. I'm not saying it ain't there. I'm just saying I'm not fucking with it. Just like I grew up in East Orange, New Jersey. It's a bunch of gangs around. I didn't fuck with it. It's just a choice. So what I'm saying is right now, I got the information. We talked about the LLC luncheon. We talked about all these things. Listen, me and Kev, like, you know, when we had personal conversations and shit like that, we talk about all this. I got access to lawyers, funders, and all these other things. I'm part of the NCREA. I go to the meetings. I get out here and make it like every day I'm doing something. You know? Like I don't just do the filming and do all that other shit. That's why I put it together like that. This is why I'm doing skits and not jumping out there doing movies because it is a process. But that's how you do it. Yeah, I got all that shit set up. The only thing I don't got is, but I do got my insurance license. So I can sell life insurance and all that other shit. So I did go do that. So what I'm telling you is that it's a thing. It's just it's out there. But people don't ask questions like that. When they talk, whenever even right now, I'm popping this shit right now. Ain't nobody ask like, yo, well, how do I give you the information?
They will on the plane.
No, not you. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm just talking about like in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all already got information. Like you said, CJ, y'all already doing stuff. So I'm not saying y'all need me. I'm just saying, like, this is why I have the mindset that I have is because of the information, not because of the fact that I don't know that we got a whole bunch of opposition out here that's ahead of us. I just figure out that there's some information that we just didn't know. We don't know. And now
that's where I think some people are just not ready. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's still fresh for some people.
Yeah, I respect.
So, but I think, like I was saying, like 20, 30, 40 years, like there's gonna be more people who are thinking like we think, like, or like you think, where fuck the opposition. I'm gonna go for this shit. Yeah, that's my attitude. Like, I know racism is out there. I know that shit that it exists. That doesn't stop me from doing what I gotta do. But not everybody is ready for that yet. And but the younger generations are being raised by people like us who can see past that shit. And so they're, you know, once they're older, it is gonna be different. They are gonna be like, fuck this shit. They are gonna band together and make this shit happen. And it's not gonna take as much talking them into it. So it's still new, unfortunately.
Yeah, so
they got parents like us because our parents didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Even credit.
Exactly. My parents didn't do it. No. So, you know, we're getting better. We're getting more into that mindset. It's still just not everybody is there yet. Some people don't want to believe it yet. Some people don't want to look into it because what if it's not real? You know, like they don't want to get their hopes up. But that shit's breaking down. The younger generation, they're courageous as fuck.
You're right. Fear is a thing that keeps a lot of people from trying things. Because even right now, like it's funding in other states. If you just file your LLC as a foreign entity, like you could go to Philadelphia, you could go to all these other places and get that back if you just file as a foreign entity in these other states. So when I'm saying that when people say that they can't get money for certain things, it's like, yo, they bugging, y'all. I've been building up the credit. Like that's why I've been doing all the filming. Like, yo, that using all those points. When I buy that food and all that other shit, what y'all think I'm using to do all that, yo? I ain't using Wells Fargo. Like this should be like it's a method to this shit, yo.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And if people want to know the information, then they gonna ask. If they don't, then they not. That's all it is. But I know for us, I'm putting together the LLC luncheon. That joint is coming. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be a room full of entrepreneurs, a room full of people that's rolling through.
Let me know.
It's gonna be lawyers. It's gonna be all kind of people in the business. I'm talking about from investors to everything. I don't know what's going on with that noise in the background.
Hey, that's you?
Yeah, I got a little daycare center in here. Y'all already know. Little man do what he want in here, though, yo.
Oh, because I was about to say,
man, look, I was trying to talk over it. Sound like a little pedophile ice cream truck rolling through here, yo.
I was looking for the red dot, bro.
Listen, yo. Listen, y'all. I was trying to act like y'all ain't hear it. Like Pennywise wasn't about to pop up and shit. Y'all all stop. Like and Mika, I can't even see Meek, and the light hit her just in time for her to look at me like, "What the fuck? Y'all hear that?" Like, yeah, my bad, y'all. But anyway, the LLC luncheon is coming, y'all, and I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be investors in there. It's gonna be hard money lenders in there. There's gonna be all type of scenarios in the building, and we're gonna all come together. And the basis behind the LLC luncheon is we're gonna all come up with different ways to help people market and cross promote their business. That's the number one thing. If people need funding, you're gonna find out ways to get it. If there's other things that you need, it's just gonna be all kind of things that's gonna go on in this luncheon. But that's just exactly what it is. It's going to be a conversation with a bunch of entrepreneurs and people already in the business, and everybody's going to network. The only thing is you got to have an LLC or be part of one to get into the luncheon.
For sure.
So it's definitely coming, and we're going to build it. And I'm telling y'all, like, it's a lot of things. It's just information that we don't know, but that's over with. But all the people that's in my crew, like I said, we putting it together. I'm going to get everybody the information. And like I said, if other people got information, bring it, because that's what we're gonna do. I mean, and that's the only thing that what it's about. And no, it ain't a race thing. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It ain't gonna be just black people in the building.
Right.
You know what I mean? I ain't even gonna hold y'all with that. You know, there's gonna be a lot of them that's killing. I got one that own their own cabinet company. It's coming through. They own their own cabinet. People restaging and remodeling houses. They got their own cabinets. They be wholesaling cabinets to all of you. Yeah, it's crazy. So listen, they coming through. You know what I mean? So everybody that's listening right now, whenever it does come through, I want y'all to keep following us. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put the email up here because I'm going to want y'all to just, you know what I'm saying, just hit me on the email. You put in the subject line, LLC luncheon, and then when it come through, I'm going to give y'all the information, man. For real. SpartanConversation@gmail.com. What y'all do is y'all send me an email and y'all put in the subject line LLC luncheon, and then as soon as we get everything together, I'm gonna hit y'all off. I'm gonna let y'all know, and y'all gonna get all the information. Like I said, you gotta have an LLC or at least be part of one to attend. It ain't gonna be free. You gotta pay for a seat,
as you should.
You know what I mean? Because you're getting food and all that come with it. But at the end of the day, the information you're going to walk away from and the connections you're going to have, it'll change your scenario. Especially if you got one business. You can open up another one real quick and get that bag real quick and fund the one that you got. Listen, people doing it every day. I got people that's coming out, got $100,000 in funding and for people in like 60 days. So it's mad shit going on out here. That, like I said, it's just the information. People don't know the information. So we get the information out and we put it together and we can make something shake. Man. So shout out to all of y'all. Do y'all got anything else y'all want to do, man? Y'all want to put out there to the people, man? Y'all got something going on before we get out of here? Let them know.
CJ, go ahead. You got to do your
same old, y'all. Preview.com. I mean, preview.career. Preview.career. Not .com. Yeah, go ahead and check us out. We're still doing good. Just still trying to get this funding, still trying to get grants. We have the website, again, up and running real soon. When it's a tech business, shit takes a lot longer, but I mean, it's thriving. So I'm pretty excited. Y'all go ahead and check us out. And yeah.
That's what's up, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all check it out. And she got the name of it right under her name right now. So for those of y'all y'all zoom in, y'all can spell it exactly, you know, and see it and get to it and check it out. And you said it's like a waiting list or something, right? Or people could sign up for like a demo or something.
Yeah, like the landing page. Yeah. So
Okay,
it's like a landing page. You can sign up for more information, of course. Really go down to, you know, just more in detail about what the entire job board is about. What differentiates a preview from like Indeed and other job posting sites.
Gotcha.
It's something new. It's basically a content-based job board.
Right.
I think it's pretty dope. It gives people the ability to not only get to experience the actual day in the life of a job and what, you know, a company entail, but the culture behind it.
Right.
So you're not just jumping into working a job. You actually, you know, in a career, like you're around people that you actually freaking like. So, I mean, I don't know. You guys check it out, and I'm excited. I'm excited.
That's dope, y'all. So y'all know, because that whole, and you know, it's crazy right now. People are desperate to try to work from home. Now, it was at one point in time where people was like, yo, man, I don't like working from home, you know, all this other shit. Now people fighting to try to work from home. They trying their best to get all kind of accommodations and everything else, so they don't have to work in nobody's building. So I'm sure. Listen, I know. So I feel you, like, you know what I'm saying, be able to find those type of careers, especially in that arena, that would be dope.
Yeah, deal with a lot of hands like trades and so forth. So those that are looking for a career, you know, we got y'all.
All right. So when you say career, they gotta have the do they have to have degrees and shit like that? It work better for people with degrees and stuff like that?
I mean, if you already have one, cool. For those that are looking or transitioning, it's definitely good for because you know, so just to give a little synopsis, just like the trade world, like the average person that's like doing HVAC and all that shit is like 50 years old. It's a true disconnect from the younger generation and older generation. Because a lot of younger kids want to, you know, most of their money making skills and techniques is going like it's technology. So it's a lot of people that don't know how to work with their hands. You know, we need nurses, we need so like those type of trades. You know, we definitely work with those. We work with trade schools. We got a whole bunch of partnerships with different universities. You know, for people that's coming out of college and going it. Yeah. So like for basic jobs, it's not really, I mean, you can go ahead and stick to like your regular job board for that. You're just looking for like a regular basic job. But if you're working a basic job, you need that transition to like a career, you know, something of that magnitude. That's you know, more so for. So
facts. That's dope. Now that's a whole lot more clarity. Nah, but that's a lot more clarity though. Yeah.
If I go into detail, y'all can be like, hold the fuck up.
No, that's a lot more clarity though, like based on when you say the word career though, because you know that could be a lot of things and it come with like degrees and shit. But what you saying, like HVAC, you right. Like all that different shit. People, they need that too. And that's the thing. It's like it's a high demand for people that can do that shit, yo. Man, you right though, yo. You know what else? You know what else is in high demand? Property preservation. Foreclosure cleanup, where people need the banks and shit need people to go clean up foreclosures and shit, because you know, people be leaving their stuff right in there, be raggedy, be mad, musty in there. So it's a lot of different, like it's a lot of stuff out here that people don't know about, yo. What up, Meek? What you got going on? I see you've been doing all kind of orders. You got mad orders and shit, yo. You've been rolling through, man.
Yeah, I've been busy, but I want to start. I'm getting back into working on the digital planners that I want to do. I'm actually gonna start talking with one of my developers this week because I want to make an app for my planners. Because all the customization that I do, I want them to be able to purchase my app and I load the planner that I created for them on that app and they take it from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got some ideas in the head. I need to just get written out and talk with a developer and start making that shit happen.
Oh, that's dope.
That's my next process.
Well, that's dope. Cause I've been seeing you've been rolling, yo. The people been ordering, yo, and that's a good look, man. Especially when you have a bit, man. That's the one thing about having a business, man. You know how it go, y'all. You be wondering, yo, boy, I hope they, you know what I'm saying? I hope people take to it and fuck with it. You know what I mean? Yo, like, because cats still got to get up and go punch a clock just until they get their shit off the boards. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing like when somebody spend a little bit of change with you, yo. Word up. I ain't gonna hold you.
And I got some loyal customers, so they come back any planner they need for anything going on. So
that's dope.
I'm grateful.
That's
grateful.
dope. What up with you though, Cal?
Talking to I'm sorry, sidebar. Have you ever tried talking to like therapists and whatnot, like partner up with different like therapists and all that stuff to push your journals? And
yeah, actually my therapist, she's one of the head therapists at her organization. So I created her planner last year. So she's trying to get me in to create for the whole 100 therapists that work there. Yeah, I'm already working it. Yeah, I'm already working it. So
no, that's dope.
Yeah, and I want to do some journals. I want to collaborate with some therapists to do some journals for different types of disorders, anxiety, depression, how to help them work through it with the journal.
Yeah. And you know what's so crazy though? It's so crazy to know that people still write. Because everybody typing everything nowadays, yo. That's crazy. You know
there's a lot of people who
still write.
Yeah.
Because I heard they're not even teaching cursive no more in school. Is that true?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
That's what I'm teaching my kids at home.
I don't know how to write cursive.
You be teaching them cursive, CJ?
Yeah, my daughter, she practicing cursive and stuff now. Not my son, right now he too young, but she working on it. So yeah.
Well,
I only know my signature, and that barely looks like my name. That's about all I got.
You don't write in cursive either?
Nah.
Well, if
I concentrated enough, I could figure out each letter, but it's not something that comes like, oh, let me just write in cursive. Hell no.
Yo, it's crazy because that's the only way I write. I don't like writing this print.
Yeah. I write half cursive, half print. Yeah,
that's it, yo. Because some of my letters be terrible. Hey, yo, see, I be having to do bilingual writing, yo. Like,
that's real.
No,
I can't write just print. I can't just do straight.
I can't
print. I only do print.
Yeah, I get bored. My hand gets bored. I'm like, no, I gotta glide the pen instead of yeah.
Wow, yo. What you got going on, Kev?
Man, just steady making progress every single day. I gotta quit playing. I just gotta quit playing and just get a world what the world needs, man.
Amen.
What I gotta do, like I just keep playing, because y'all talked about fear, and fear is one of the things that will definitely hold you back, because some people are comfortable being uncomfortable, and you got to break that mindset, and anybody that you're gonna lose as you elevate yourself,
right?
They wasn't worth holding or having around no way, man. So, got to just do what you need to do. Look out for me everywhere. And everything that we have going, and when I get the other stuff launched, you already know, man, we're gonna link and we're gonna take it to the next level and try to be some faces that people can look to as examples of what can work, because they want to see it working for you. They don't want to hear it, see it.
They want to see it. Yeah, they want to see it. And that's another thing too. Sometimes, when we get into it like that, we don't want to show everybody our hand. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we ain't at the goal we want to get at real quick.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I understand what you said when you dropped that bar just now. So yeah, I think that's I think everybody, that's a good philosophy for everybody to kind of look at it like, you know what I'm saying? So that's dope. And I guess everybody watching, it was a bunch of y'all that jumped on tonight, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for real. You know what I never do? I never tell people to subscribe or it's just weird. It's like, yo, when I watch other people content, they do that every 15 to 20, you know what I mean? Make sure y'all subscribe, hit the notification button. I never do that. So, now since it's getting down to the end, it's a few of y'all that done jumped off. I should have did it earlier, yo. Like
earlier.
Make sure y'all subscribe, yo, to the channel. But shout out to y'all though, man. Make sure y'all follow my crew, man, and check out what they got going on. Y'all can catch all three of these people on the Collective Visions page. We'll catch them on Team Collective TV. It's a bunch of content out. You can check my stories out. Every day we drop something new. And yeah, man, I just want y'all out there that's watching, man, to just keep paying attention, man, because like it's growing, yo. And it's crazy too, because like I said, you know, what Kev was saying earlier and Tamika, when it come to fear, man, that's one of the biggest things I know I deal with personally every day, because, you know, it's like, yo, do you think people gonna like it? Do you think people gonna fuck with it? Do you do? And it be some days, man, I post some shit, man, it might get like 10 little views or some shit like that. Then there's days I post and it gets thousands. So I guess in this game, man, you can't worry about the likes, the views, and none of that shit. You gotta just worry about the content and the quality, and just stay focused, man. I heard one person say, all you gotta do is set it and forget it. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you know, just keep moving forward, and where you trying to go, you're gonna get to. And so I appreciate all the people that support us, man, that watch all the content, that support, that buy the merchandise, man. Shout out to the people that put in orders from the other little video. Yo, double salute to y'all, man. And shout out to all the people that be listening to the audio version of this podcast. I know I say in the beginning, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all, yo. I ain't know. I thought most of the people, when they do these podcasts and shit like that, they really get it popping off of the visual part. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all doing something else out there with the audio version. So thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. Make sure. Oh, and another thing, I wanted to make sure all of y'all know, the LLC Luncheon. Don't forget, if y'all want to get down, y'all want to know information, y'all hit me up. I'm telling y'all, it's coming sometime in first quarter, coming up in 2024. I want to do it really nice. I really fly. We got this dope chef coming that's gonna be making, and it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be wine. It's gonna be fly. You know what I mean? Because that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be a really fly atmosphere where a bunch of creators and people could get together and get to that level that they need to be in, or at least know where to go next. All right. So double salute to all of y'all. And until next week, don't forget, y'all, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will, y'all. Double salute. Peace. Yeah.